Hey, my Skillest people, how are we doing? We've got John Montgomery here coming to you from Celebration Golf Club, or coming to you from Orlando, but based out of Celebration Golf Club. And we're going to have a really cool chat today about the journey to bombs that he recently went on. So tried to gain a whole bunch of distance, trying to smash it out of the park. And we're going to talk about his golf swing, the things he saw during that process, and then we're going to have a chat about distance in general in golf. So how are you, Johnny?
Doing pretty good, man. Thanks for having me. I appreciate you.
Mate, it's always a pleasure. So we were just having a quick chat off camera then. You played this morning in an event. Didn't quite go according to plan. So is that the end of the season pretty much? Is there a little break now?
No. So, like in Florida, this is busy season. Everybody from up north is coming back down, and like all the tournaments are happening. So I'm probably going to play in 2 more events in December to finish out the year down in Port Lucie.
And so why do you think, like as a teaching pro, like why do you think playing is really important?
It just keeps things into perspective for me. I think it's really easy to go deep, like down the rabbit hole of like a swing instruction and learning about the golf swing and forces and torques and all that. And I mean, you definitely need to know that stuff as a golf coach, but at the same time, if you're coaching people how to play the game better and how to score, then like it's a pretty different world. And for me, whenever I play in tournaments, it really brings things back into perspective, like what's really important.
Yeah, 100%. And I think, you definitely need to be able to execute to a degree as well as a coach. I think that, to know something fundamentally yourself, when you're trying to explain something to someone, you need to know it for yourself and need to be able to execute it for yourself, I think, to be able to explain it and really know it.
Yeah, I definitely agree. Like anytime I get a teaching aid or a training aid or something, like I always use it first so I can understand the feels, of like what it feels like to do it. And that helps me explain things a lot better.
Okay, cool. All right, well, let's have a look at this golf swing really, really quickly. So this is the end product. I'll play this in fast motion just for everyone.
Okay.
So this was something you uploaded the other day. And this is sort of the end result of, as I was sort of explaining previously, is that you went on this journey to bombs where you just wanted to hit it 10 times further effectively and just really, really get it out there. Do you want to sort of explain what the premise of it was and then what you did to sort of increase your speed and then where you got it to?
Yeah, so, I've gone through this cycle one time before in my life. In college, I used to hit the ball. I was hitting the ball pretty short, as a freshman, and I just kind of got sick of, hitting the ball short. So I really, like, in my mind was just like, all right, I'm going to do everything I can to hit the ball further. And for me, it was just swing and I got to the point where I was hitting the ball pretty far. And I got to that point again later on in life, fast forward 10 years later. And I was hitting the ball like 265, and I knew I had way more in there, but my body just felt terrible. So I really wanted to get my distance back, to where I was smashing that before. It's just so fun. I love to make golf fun. So I thought it would be cool to document the journey of what I would do to go, and get the speed back.
So what were you? How fast were you swinging?
I may have had it at some point in my life. It was really, this one was actually only at 116, I think, 117, 116, 117. And at the highest point, a few videos ago, I got it to 125. But, I came out of my shoes. I jumped off the ground to get there.
Yeah, absolutely.
So this was more like a playing kind of swing.
Gotcha. Yeah. And that's probably about maxed
out. No, there's more in the tank. But, I feel like that's the whole reason of being able to swing it really fast. Like if you can swing at 125, then you can play at 80% at 117, and that's how you play faster. So you kind of have to have the ability to swing it really fast to be able to kind of tone it down and be able to play faster.
Yeah, absolutely. So I suppose what I meant was this is your maxed out swing on the golf course. So you've brought it back from 125 jumping out of your boots.
Yes, yeah, for sure.
Gotcha. So what did you do? Do you want to just tell everyone what the secret sauce is? And look, obviously not as many people are going to be able to gain, 15 mile an hour of club head speed. And
Yeah.
just a safety warning, we probably wouldn't recommend it for a lot of people because, we'll get all sorts of injuries. But what did you do to get that speed?
So for me, the biggest piece that really kind of helped me was mobility. And I go to the gym pretty frequently as part of my routine and what I do every day almost. So like the strength wasn't an issue, but the range of motion and like how much flexibility I had in my hips and in my shoulders and in my T-spine. I went and had an assessment, and that's when that like really opened my eyes. So whenever I started working on that kind of stuff in the gym on top of speed training, swinging, and just swinging as fast as you can and kind of developing those fast twitch muscles, like the combination of those two is what, helped it shoot up and get it back up to 125.
And so the flexibility that you created, through this process, is that sort of really evident if we talk about the motion here in the separation in your hips and top here? Do you think like where you're trying to really, really spin, drive your hips as fast as you can, whilst keeping lots of store up in the club here, not having your top go as much. So you're actually creating that stretch and resistance in the body on the way down.
Uh-huh.
So what is your swing torque from the top here? What do you try and do?
I am trying to load into the ground. Like right now, most of my weight is in my right foot. I feel like my right leg is really strong there.
Yeah.
And then from there in the transition, I'm trying to get lower. Like I feel like I'm bending my knees and trying to drop my whole body down a few inches as I'm starting to bump a little bit forward. And then like from there, I'm loading into the ground, and then I really push off and straighten my left leg and try to rip my body around.
Yeah.
So like for me, whenever I focus on hitting the ball hard, it's like 90% of my like feeling is in my legs and in my feet.
Interesting. Yeah, which you can clearly see. Like if we talk about it on the way back here, you can clearly see that there is a little lateral shift on the way back. So you move your hips sideways, you push everything over that right side. You've then got heaps of pressure like loaded into this. And then you can clearly see that as your arms are still going back, your hips have already started here, haven't they? In not only a lateral shift towards the target, but they're also starting to spin and drive here as well. But you can clearly see you almost, you do get this Sam Snead style squat going on in your right leg, which is this real torque and twist. And I mean, if you did all the measuring here in terms of force plates, there's no doubt that everything would effectively still be in your right foot.
Yeah, for sure. And I'd learned a few things about that, being able to have the opportunity to hit balls on like a swing catalyst and see all the ground forces and stuff. That was really cool. At one of my previous jobs at a golf academy, we had one there. So, I mean, all the power comes from the ground from every sport. So that's always where my focus is when it comes to speed.
And what do you like when I look at that left knee there? I've had knee surgery, so it sort of gives it sends a shudder down my spine, and I've had it in my left knee as well. But that sort of move, obviously, that is hugely power generating. Do you think it's sustainable over a really long period of time to be snapping your leg like that? Do you think that's probably where Tiger, came to grief a little bit?
Yeah, I think the snapping of the knee, I wouldn't call it sustainable for a long time. Like, for saying like 50 years old, I'm not going to be snapping my left knee like that. But I think as long as you're able to release the pressure, like you can see my left foot comes off the ground, it opens and rotates more. So that's one of those mobility pieces that I'm working on is the external rotation of my left leg and being able to handle power. Right. So as my left side gets stronger, I'll be able to post up into that hip a little bit better and take some of the stress away from the knee and the ankle there. But for right now, let it fly, let the left heel come off the ground in the backswing and let it turn, to help support the power so you don't hurt yourself. And people really optimizing their bodies to swing a golf club and handle all the speed. Maybe not as early as we think. I think that people are becoming these super efficient, athletic golf swinging machines, basically, with all the gym workouts and really training your body to handle everything. So it'd be interesting to see. I wish you could fast forward.
Yeah, it's going to be really interesting. It'll be just it's a really, really fascinating. We're definitely at an inflection point, I think, in golf at the moment, where it's just very much moving towards it's super young, super athletic, hit it a long way, and we're sort of still very early to know how that will translate into the Champions Tour. Maybe we won't have a Champions Tour in 20 years' time. Everyone will be in wheelchairs, but I don't know.
Yeah.
We'll wait and see. But look, it's just awesome to watch. So what if you said to someone, or someone said to you, John, I want to gain 10 yards or 15 or 20 yards, you think the first thing is really think about your mobility and go to the gym, or is it technical?
No,
or what would you suggest?
It really is specific. You know, you might be able to tell pretty quick if you go to see an expert, but like, let's say it's, you know, somebody in their 50s or even just in like their 30s. It just depends on their body and how well they take care of their body. It might be a mobility thing like it was for me. You know, like I said, I had the strength, but the mobility was really lacking. If it's a junior, most of the time it's a strength piece where they have, you know, hypermobility. And your T-spine can turn like 190 degrees.
Yep.
So, and then the other piece of it is it could just be technical where somebody's not delivering like a good club face and club path and, you know, just really slicing the ball or not hitting up on it. You know, it could be something technical with the golf swing also. So it really depends on the person.
So,
and kind of where they are.
And so I think the other thing we haven't even talked about really is that through gaining this distance, has it compromised your control at all? Like, have you found that, or if it has compromised it at all, is it worth, you know, losing a little bit of control because you are carrying it a little bit further?
Yeah. So you definitely lose control. That is part of the process of trying to gain speed. Especially if you're trying to do it in the short term. Like I was. So like, it's, yeah, like I said, it's part of the thing because you really just like, you have to learn to like love smashing the ball. You have to be able to stand over the ball on the golf course and be able to swing at like, you know, close to 100%. And eventually you'll get used to it and you'll learn to control it. But I don't know if there's really an easier way, you know, it's just kind of going through the fire. And if you want the distance, you know, it's fun. It's fun to be able to carry the ball, you know, over 300 yards and hit it 340, 350.
Yeah. I mean, it just completely changes golf courses, doesn't it? You know, like if you can take it over dog legs, take it over tree lines and things like that and carry bunkers that no one else can. You know, I was actually listening to another great podcast on golf.com actually with Brandel Chambly, and he's obsessed now with distance even at his age because he knows that, you know, when you're hitting short irons into the greens, you're below the hole all day, you know, so you're not hitting 5 irons into greens that bounce once and then roll up the back of the green and you've got a 20-footer downhill or a 30-footer downhill. You know, you're hitting 8 irons into greens that you can fade and keep short of the hole and be putting uphill all day. So it just has this flow-on effect, doesn't it?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, because not only like, you know, if you're hitting your driver 300 plus, one, you're closer to the hole, but also if your swing speed is faster, you're going to hit your irons further too. Yeah. So you're 180 out and you're able to pull a 9 iron or an 8 iron. Like, that makes a big difference also.
100%.
You know? So
is that how far you're
being able to hit a 4 iron? Not all the time.
I think I hit one that went that far once, but it was sitting up in a flyer lie. I think that was about it.
Yep. Flyer lie, downwind, all good.
There's the only chance I've got to do that. But John, that's awesome, mate. I love that little breakdown. And look, let's hope that all this distance comes to the fore this season, and you can have a couple of wins. So when's the next event you're playing in?
So the schedule is out, but there are going to be some PGA events. They're called the Winter Series events down in Port St. Lucie for PGA professionals. And I'm going to go. There's 2 of them that I have my eye on, and I haven't signed up for them yet, but hoping to sign up really soon. So they're going to be in mid-December. Both of them are going to be pretty close together, like the second week of December.
Okay, cool. And if anyone out there wants to catch up with you, they can get you on Skillest, obviously. And if they're in Orlando and they're not using Skillest, you're at Celebration Golf Club.
Yep, correct. Yep, just about 10 minutes from Disney.
Perfect. All right, Johnny, thank you so much for your time, mate. And we're going to do a whole bunch more of these. So we'll speak soon.
Awesome. Thanks, Baden. I appreciate it.
Thanks, mate.